Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast right here on the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, brought to you by GamblersWorld.com and GamblersWorld.net. And the .net side, folks, is 10 great handicappers, including us three. That's where you'll find all our best picks. Yes, you have to pay for them, but it's a little investment to make a lot of money over the long haul. The .com side is all our videos. Jesse appears there doing his videos on a daily basis, his individual videos. And then Sean's Midday Money is up there a few times a week. So you might want to check that out as well, in addition to every one of our podcasts here on our channel. All right. So yesterday, I put a dress code in order. I said we all need to wear a collared shirt or a night shirt, whatever the case may be. I have a collar here. It's and you can see that Sean hasn't changed since yesterday.
Febreze is great.
He only takes a shower once a week, and he changes.
Hold on, look at this nice shaved head. I'm all cleaned up, but listen, the shirt's on for a half hour.
He buffs his head every day. See that chrome dome he's got?
I'm gonna start busting out these. I'm gonna keep the collars popped, and I gotta get some old Izod for we'll do 80s style, the old Izod shirts.
In the upper left-hand corner of your screen there, you'll see Sheriff Matt Dillon of Gunsmoke. As the only thing he's missing is his badge. Somebody chimed him yesterday. Actually, Joe V, who's a real adamant follower of ours, and comes in with a lot of nice comments and good words about all of us. And he joked. He says, Jesse looks like a real cowboy, like he just came off the set of a Gunsmoke episode. So,
I hope you guys like the vest, because you're going to be seeing an awful lot of it coming soon. I'll switch out the shirts underneath, but the vest stays. This is going to be my uniform from here on out.
There he is.
And I'm comfortable with it.
Marshall Matt Dillon, he's in the house.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. So enough of the joking around here. Yesterday, I believe we went 2-1, boys, if I'm not mistaken. And
I know I had the loser, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, that bottom of the ninth, Philadelphia won the game, but 4-3, but they scored 2 in the bottom of the ninth. So I'm sure somebody will come out of the woodwork and see these gimmick plays. But at the end of the day, folks, not that I'm defending Sean for a losing pick or making excuses, but at the end of the day, his logic is sound. If you have the ability to do so, and there's a couple sports books that offered this option, what he's doing is eliminating the bottom of the ninth if he likes the home team. And if the home team's money line is 160, 170, even 150, he's reducing the risk and reducing the money, or the money you have to put up. In other words, your juice. And hope they win the game. Don't need extra innings to win the game. And hopefully they don't need the bottom of the ninth to pull it out the way they did yesterday. But once in a while, it's going to backfire. And it did yesterday. We went 2-1. I had the Mets over the Yankees. And Jesse had Toronto plus 1.5 over the Dodgers. There's an astute play right there, folks, as the Dodgers won the game. But, they needed extra innings, and he didn't get burned. And he wasn't greedy, where he would have took the money line underdog, and that would have been a tough loss. So anyway, he came out on top. Go ahead,
Did
Sean.
Ross just get a dig in there at you, Sean?
No, I mean, really, no. I mean, I had Dodgers run line. I'm like, all right, I think Bassett could give up some runs. I like Urias has pitched well at home.
Oh,
and I Dodgers had no right to even win that game. But I mean, you have Toronto yesterday, and you're in control of that whole game, and you lose in extra innings. Yeah. Come on, man. That's like, not that it's equivalent to losing a bottom of the 9 bet, but it's the same kind of thinking. Like you like you lose something tough. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's frustrating,
Yeah, we become a little, that's why we have thick skin. You don't last in this business if you don't. And I certainly didn't intend that as a dig, Jesse. I didn't know he had the Dodgers.
I was just kidding.
Run line.
I didn't know either. I thought he was referring to the Phillies game.
The other bet I won was on the North, minus 130 over the South in the Civil War. They came out on top the last I checked. So we did real good yesterday. Anyway, We're covering some of our background, and you've heard stories over the last few days, not only from us three, but also Doug Upstone and Chip Chirimbus, on how they first realized that sports betting was something that piqued their interest at a young age, and then where it developed from that point. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I know a few of you out there did comment on it and had some nice words to say and enjoyed this segment. We're real shortly today. We're in the middle of Major League Baseball season right now, and that's really the focal point of our interest. Jesse does a couple other things beside Major League Baseball, but the majority of his plays are in Major League Baseball during the summertime. So we're going to take a look at how we approach every day the Major League Baseball card, and maybe you could pick something up along the way in terms of what our handicapping process is to start the day. Jesse, we'll start with you. When you sit down in front of your computer and say, okay, it's time to attack the baseball card today or tomorrow, because if you're doing it the day before, what's your process?
Well, I'm going to have to give you the condensed version because it's a pretty complicated process, but I will start by saying that Sean and I have a lot of similarities. We like to attack things the same way.
What else is new?
And I see Sean has his look-ahead lines, and I'm of the opinion that you always need to get access to those first available lines. And the first step, and it doesn't matter if it's baseball or any sport, is attacking the early lines and looking for an advantage, knowing that you can find a team. Let's say you find a team for minus 140 and you know they're going to be minus 160 or greater the next day, and you like that team. So that's the first step, is getting to attack those early lines. And the similarities between Sean and I pretty much end there, because my approach is almost exactly the opposite of Sean's. Sean's basically, and I shouldn't put words in his mouth, but as I understand it, he's attempting to hit 50%. The majority of his plays are plus money. If he hits 50%, he's going to bring home a ton of profit. Whereas I'm going for high percentage plays. I'm laying a lot more juice, as evidenced by my run line play yesterday. And anytime I get a chance to pay a little bit extra and make that a more high percentage play, that's the strategy I'm going with. And in order to get there, I look at batter versus pitcher, pitcher home away splits, day night, all the splits, day night splits, recent form, last 5 starts. I look at momentum, teams that are on a roll, how they performed in their last 7 to 10 games. I watch these shows and listen to other. I've been doing this for 15 plus years. I still listen to other handicappers and try and learn from them. Guys like you, Ross, and Big Al. When you do a show with Big Al and you guys talk about your handicapping software and the strategies you guys employ, I'm not arrogant enough to disregard what these people I respect.
Nor should you or any of us be arrogant enough to think that we know it all, and we can't pick something up from a guy that we respect that does it daily and does it full time. So I didn't mean to interject there, Jesse.
So my strategy is constantly evolving. Yeah. I'm always trying to tweak things, learn new things. Certain things that have worked for me in the past, they stop working. The bookmakers bookmakers will offer, they'll be slow to react to certain trends that are developing. And once they catch up, you have to pivot and move a different direction. So it's a constantly flowing process as well. You can't just do the same thing over and over again for a decade. You have to evolve, or you will get left behind. That's my opinion of not just Major League Baseball, but sports betting in general.
Well, just let's concentrate on Major League Baseball, right? In how the game has evolved and how the game has become more specialized in terms of pitching. How 10 years ago, when interleague games took place, if you played in a National League park, the pitcher had a hit for the American League, and they didn't have to do that in their own league. And they didn't play the National League as many times. So, and the National League knew how to play that type of game, where you have to, the pitcher has to bunt, move guys over. There's a whole different strategy. Now it's universal. Everybody has the DH. So there's a lot. When Jesse's talking about evolution, those are the types of things you need, as he termed it, to pivot. and take a look at what's going on and say, hey, I got to tweak my process a bit here because of this. And the game is not played like that anymore. So, Sean, some good stuff, Jesse. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope the audience picks something up from that, because Jesse's a very successful handicapper, or he wouldn't be on his channel. And his record backs it up if you look at any of the sites he's documented on. So, Sean, talk about documentation, a guy who hit 64% in the NFL last year. Jesse mentioned the 50% approach, but I know you want to attain more than that. There's no ways about it. But the worst case scenario, if you go 50% and the majority of your plays are plus money, on more times than not, you're going to make a profit for the day. And that's what it's about. Making a profit this day and moving on to the next. Once in a while, you're going to hit the jackpot, make a big score, right, Sean? Once in a while, you're going to make $45. It's better than losing $45. And like Sean always says, if you don't know what to do at $45, send it to me. I'll take it. All right, go ahead, buddy. Show your approach.
Yeah, no, like, baseball, I'll be happy. Obviously, listen, any bet any of us make, whether it's plus 130, minus 330, you want the bet to win, right? You think it's going to win. You wouldn't have bet it. You won't talk about it on a show. It's not like you want to win. But I know, especially when it comes to baseball, a lot of action. I'm plus money's all over the place. 50% season, great. 45% season, I could still make money, right? If I'm making plus money. And I'm a volume guy in all sports. I like to bet. People are like, oh, you're some tout guy. I don't consider myself that. I'm a bettor at heart. That's what I am, and it runs the way it goes. That's the way it is. But so baseball for me, just message to look, mention look at lines. Of course, you got to look at the lines first. I write them all down, see where we're at. I'm ready to attack because I'm looking at, it's a simple start to the night, right? I'm looking, how are the teams playing? Who's won? They won 4 in a row. They've won 8 of 12, 17 of 23. Are these teams playing good? Right. So you don't want to be jumping on teams losing all over the place. I'm a firm believer if teams getting those 3, 4 game, 5 game losing streaks, they lose. Teams get swept. It's like, oh, they can't get swept today. It's not going to happen. Okay. How many teams get swept? A bunch. Yeah. I like pitchers, simple people. You can just, it's not like complicated stuff. You go to MLB.com. Pitching matchups. You see the last 7 games. Why wouldn't you look at the last 7 games, see a guy's pitching? Like that's why you see a lot of cappers like, well, I'm not going to jump into baseball. I want to see how things go, right? Guys, they want to get a little stats behind them, trends, how guys are pitching, this and that. So I look at the pitching matchups, always important to me. This streakiness of teams, the hitters. Who's hitting good the last week or two? And it's it's not a foolproof way. Listen, sometimes you get in a groove with those things. I started out July awesome. The last week out of All-Star break, not so good. And that's where you got to pull in the outside. Like, okay, what's weighing on teams? Am I getting traded? Am I pressing at the plate? We're mailing it in. So you got to adjust. And again, if I'm losing, I'm not betting 8 games now. I'm betting a game a day, 2. Right? I got to.
So you're feeling it again. Let me ask you a question, Sean. Let me ask you a question because you're a volume guy, okay? And volume guys, when you go on a bad streak like that, as you're alluding to, you tend to pull back. That's what you do as a professional. Okay. Yeah. But having said that, I know when I do that on occasion, when I pull back and I'll have 5 plays that I really like, but I'm on a bad run. And I might only release 2 of them, maybe 3, possibly 1. I keep a track and say, okay, what if I played all 5 the next day? And that tells me if I'm on again or off. Yep. There could be a day that, I would have went 0 for 5 if I played all 5 of them. Well, I'm glad that I pulled back. And until I see that I'm zeroed in again, that's when I go back to being aggressive. I don't know. You guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that real quick.
Yeah. I had one game yesterday. It was the Dodgers on the sites. That was it. It was a loser Dodger run line, plus 135. Didn't get there. I talked on the Midday Money show. I had 3 picks. They end up going 1 and 2. I mentioned a couple other games I sort of liked. It was the Cubbies, St. Louis, and I think Oakland was the other one. Again, 1 and 2 there. I didn't have them.
Yeah.
I said, because I'm, 18-30 run. So I'm not looking to. I can't do that.
Yeah.
The day before, games I put on the site went 0-1, but the free pick on the video went 2-1. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm getting better, but I'm not gonna go. I can't. It's way too many games I like, and if I'm in a tailspin, that 18-33 could turn into 25-64, and then I'm really in trouble. You can't do that. I have a bankroll.
And it seems like when you're in a tailspin like that, some of the games that could go either way go against you.
Yeah,
when you're on a hot streak, you get a lot of breaks. You know what I mean? And Jesse, real quickly, your thoughts on what we just discussed on that particular topic.
I will say that I try to keep an even keel and not pull back too much. But then again, I'm not really firing away the same way, Sean, and maybe yourself, Ross. I'm pretty conservative. I like to, I like to play the game, only the ones I really like, and try to go for a high percentage. So I'm never really playing that big volume. One thing I will say though is I do venture into more sports than you guys do. So I'm playing soccer and WNBA and various other things. And if I start to have more success with one than the other, I will put more emphasis on that. And if I'm not having, like right now, I'm basically the number one CFL handicapper on most of the sites I'm on long term, like for my career, but I'm not having a great year. So I've basically dialed down the CFL until I can feel confident about it again. And, I'll start putting out 3 or 4 games a week when I feel a little bit better about it. And that's how I crank things up and dial them up, is I'll try to shift to something else that I'm having more success with if I'm struggling with one sport.
Very good, guys. A lot of good stuff. Thank you for sharing that with the audience. Thank you for sharing it with me, because I enjoyed listening to you guys' approach. I have the utmost respect for you. I know that we tease each other on the show on occasion, but I know with the utmost certainty, we all respect each other as handicappers and our philosophies. We may not agree all the time, and if we did, it would be a pretty boring world we live in. But we respect each other's approach and philosophy and how we arrive at our conclusions. Folks, stay tuned. We do have 3 Major League Baseball free picks coming for you very shortly. Let me get to my approach real quick. And basically, I start with the opening line. I am not a guy that gets down early. Okay. I just never believed in it. It's just my philosophy. Jesse is very astute at saying, okay, I like this team at -135. If I'm pretty sure that if I wait too long, it's going to go up to 160. He didn't just develop that talent overnight. Okay. He's developed that over a large sample size. So he's got a lot to go with in that regard. Myself, I wouldn't say that I'm not that intelligent, but that's not the way I've ever approached it. And I don't want to start a sample size by doing it right now, because how I do things have worked for me, like they've worked for Jesse and Sean for the last whatever amount of years. But again, the opening line's important. I look at line movement from the opening line. I look at why that may have occurred. I look at, is this a public move or a sharp move? I weigh that all in. And then I start with the starting pitchers every day. I look at both starting pitchers. I have a formula which I determine what I think is good form or bad form. And there's a mathematical thing that I use in that regard that I don't want to bore you with right now. And then I go move to the bullpens and see how each bullpen is performing over the last week. I like to go back 7 days or 7 games within that range to get an idea of how the bullpens are performing. In this day and age, it's not like it used to be. Starting pitchers don't go deep into games like they used to. Some do, but it's the minority that do these days. So, and then the hitting. Look over the last 7 games. Again, one of the biggest mistakes I think a lot of people make, and I just had a discussion with one of my friends about this. He looks at the overall picture. What are they hitting for the year? What's the bullpen ERA for the year? What's the starting pitcher's ERA for the year? Baseball is a streaky game, okay? We see teams go on 20-game or 10-game win streaks, and we see teams go on 11-game losing streaks. The same thing goes for players. The same thing goes for hitting. The same thing goes for pitching. So I pay attention. And if a guy is real good over the last 3, I might go back even 2 more starts and say, look at not only the last 3 has he been real good, but he's been terrific over the last 5. And basically, there's more I could talk about in that regard, but because we're short of time right now, I'm unable to do so. But hopefully, folks, you enjoyed our approach and how we go about things, and maybe you pick some stuff up. I hope you would to use it in your arsenal on a daily basis when you look at the Major League Baseball card. All right, let's go to the free picks. Jesse, starting with you, your game. And I don't have it in front of me. So
the Atlanta Braves at the Boston Red Sox, Fenway interleague game. 2 things I didn't mention when I discussed how I bet on baseball: weather and situational motivational. I mean, Atlanta's got an 11-game lead in the NL East. So how meaningful is this game really, playing in Boston? I don't think Atlanta wants Strider to go deep into this game, put a lot of wear and tear on that arm. And Strider has been roughed up in his last 2 starts, as has Bello for Boston. Obviously, they look like the 2 aces for the respective teams. So first knee-jerk reaction might be 2 great pitchers. Let's take the under. They haven't been great in recent starts. 85 degrees in Boston today, 9 miles an hour winds blowing out. It's a hitter's park. I don't think Atlanta is going to be significantly invested in this game, like I stated. So I'm going to take the over 9.5, Ross.
All right, the Atlanta Braves with Spencer Strider and the Boston Red Sox with Brian Bello. That game to go over 9.5. Sean, Mets Yankees. Yesterday I covered that game. The Mets won handily, 9-3. Once again, we saw Domingo Germán show his erraticism as he was torched, and Justin Verlander pitched a gem in 6 innings. So what's your take today? You got Quintana and Rodon. And I hate games like this from a handicapping perspective because both of these guys are seasoned pros, but by the same token, both of them only have a couple starts under. Actually, Quintana's only got 1 start, and Rodon 3, and Rodon's looked terrible. And the Mets minus 158.5, Sean.
Yeah. Yanks big faves here, right? With Rodon, 158 now. It was 150. It was 150 last night. I saw 155. Now it's at 158. So people are betting on this guy. 3 starts, a 7-something ERA, which isn't the end all be all, right? Because I go to the hits. We talk about pitchers. 12 hits of 14 innings, not bad. Hello, 9 walks.
Yeah.
9. And this is why you have a minor league rehab. You come back, but this is major league batters, and he's obviously still working his way back into kind of form here. I'm going to go a little Mets first 5 here, plus 125 was earlier there. Quintana has his 1 start versus the Cubbies, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 Ks, nothing fancy. End up taking a loss, giving up 2 runs. Hey, the Yankee offense is not good. We're one of the worst hitting teams in the league overall. Forget about just against lefties. Doesn't make a difference. Bad lineup. I'm going to go Mets first 5 here. You're going to get – how the heck are the Yanks are 9 back of first place. Okay, they're 2 back in the wild card, 2.5. No, they should not be laying 160 even to a terrible Met team. No way. No, take the plus money.
All right. So, yeah, I mistakenly said Mets minus 150. I apologize for that, folks. It was the Yankees minus 150. And what's the line you have on the first 5 on the Mets?
I had a 135.
Okay. Mets plus 135 in the first 5 innings from Sean Higgs. All right.
Could be different now. We had the little line move there, so it might be a little different, folks. I know people get
it's plus money, folks. So there you go. Texas at Houston is my game. It'll be Andrew Heaney for the Texas Rangers. It'll be Framber Valdez for the Houston Astros. Houston right now, this jumped right out at me. A minus 170 money line favorite and 8.5. They're begging you to take Texas here. Heaney, 2 very good starts against Texas this year. However, that good form, bad form formula that I use shows bad form over the last 3. And Heaney, over that course of time, a 7.43 ERA, 180 whip, and only last 4.4 innings per start over the last 3. And that's huge. You know why? Because Texas bullpen sucks. Terrible. in over their last 7 games, an 8.40 ERA and a 1.67 WHIP. And get this, folks, the Texas bullpen over that 7-game stretch, 9 home runs allowed in 30 innings pitched. The Rangers have also lost the first 2 in this series, and they've lost 8 of their last 10 on the road. Framber Valdez has struggled a bit. If you look, 3 of his last 4 starts haven't been very good, but all 3 of those starts were on the road. At home, he's been terrific with a 2.12 ERA, a 1.00 WHIP, and 11 starts, averaging 6.5 innings pitched per start at home. The Houston bullpen, respectable, 3.43 ERA over their last 7. Houston 19-10 versus left-handed pitchers like they'll be facing today. And Andrew Heaney, and going back to last year, how about 63-23 when facing left-handed starting pitchers? Also, they'll be facing a Texas team that has a huge plus 1.5 run per game differential, and the Astros since last year, 40-14 versus teams that have a plus 1 or greater run per game differential. And finally, Houston 6-1 in the last 7, 16-7 in their last 23. I ain't laying to 170. But I'm going to take a shot here on the run line. I'm taking the Houston Astros minus 1.5 at money line odds of plus 115. I just have the hotter team, the better starting pitcher, and unequivocally the better bullpen. All right, guys, Jesse, starting with you. What do you got going on at gamblersworld.net today, and how you been doing of late?
The results have been kind of the last couple weeks or several weeks, to be honest with you, but really looking forward to football season. I hit 90% of my plays in September last year with college football. That sounds crazy, but it's true. And I just dropped half a dozen college football videos at Gamblers World, so you can check that out at gamblersworld.com. You can see me at gamblersworld.net and at jesseshul.com. Come see me. I'll be glad that you did.
And if any of you doubt that win percentage, just reach out. And we could send you documentation. We all get monitored at sportscapping.com. I know I'm 65% in the NFL in the month of September since 2010. And I know a lot of people will doubt that, but that's okay because you should. And we provide the documentation. Anyway, Sean, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, baseball front and center for me right now. But as Jesse mentioned, we got football right on the corner. I just finished up 3 more conference previews on winning free picks. They'll be loaded up there. Maybe I'll put them on the gamblersworld.com too, if that's all right with the crew over there.
Yeah. So, gamblersworld.net, you mean, or gamblersworld.com?
Well, where's the videos are on .com.
Yeah, gamblersworld.com.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So there's that. And listen, look forward to football right around the corner. So excited about it.
We're all excited for football. And my Major League Baseball last 2 days, I was 3-0 on Monday. Yesterday, I had Detroit. And they lost in extra innings, but Major League Baseball, I tend to heat up around this time of year, right through the end of the year. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on my football. Like I said, 65% over the last 10 years in the month of September in the NFL. College football last year, a 13-4 record in the bowl game. So I finished extremely strong in that regard. You could find us all at gamblersworld.net. Don't forget, folks, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's 100% free, no strings attached, no hidden agenda. Just see that WC button on the bottom right-hand corner. If you're on your PC, just click on that. A subscribe button will come up. Hit that. If you're on your phone, you'll see that big black subscribe button right under our video. Until the next time, for Jesse Shule, Sean Higgs, and Ross Benjamin, we like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless, folks.